finally to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. It's been a while, but we're back. And I know I said this a lot, hopefully on a weekly basis. Now tonight, we're going to watch a movie that, in all honesty, I have to be honest with you, I actually watched this last month in October. We're going to be watching Halloween Kills. Now I watched Halloween Kills last month and was actually filming footage for an episode of Saturday Night Horror. But earlier that day, before I watched the movie, I started coughing a little bit. Didn't feel too good. Went to sleep, got up, I felt alright, started watching the movie, started coughing more and more, and the next morning I was sick. Again. So I never finished the episode, and I decided just to trash that footage and start from scratch. So here we are. Tonight we're going to be watching Halloween Kills again, starting from scratch. I'm excited about it, man. Spoiler alert, I loved it. So I'm really excited to be watching it again. Now, as for the cooking part, Thanksgiving was last week, so we're having Thanksgiving leftovers. So what I decided to do for the cooking portion of this video was to actually film just a few of the things we made for Thanksgiving. Not everything, just a few of the things. So the cooking part is going to be a little bit longer than it usually is, and I can see everyone with short attention spans clicking off the video now, giving it the thumbs down. You should have done this in 15 minutes. You'll be alright. So yeah, Halloween Kills picks up exactly where Halloween left off 3 years ago. And I can't wait to watch it again, man. We'll talk about it more when it's over. But for now, let's go out to the kitchen and let's see some of this Thanksgiving cooking that happened. So we'll watch this footage of the cooking, then we'll talk about the movie.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start some deviled eggs. So we've got our eggs in here and we're just going to fill this pot with water. So these will take a little while. So we're going to move on to other things once we get these deviled eggs started, but this is where it all begins. Alright, so we're still filling them up with water, almost done. Once we fill these up with water, we're going to let them boil for a little while. We're just going to let the water come to a boil, let the bubbles start showing up, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, here we go. Alright, I've got them on the oven, the stove, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done this. We've got the heat on, and like I said, we're just going to let this come to a boil. And while we're doing that, we're going to start our sweet potato casserole. The first thing we're going to have to do is peel these sweet potatoes. Now I'm not going to film that part, but we'll come back when they're done. Alright, we've peeled them, kind of broke them apart, put them in this bowl here. This is going to be really good, man. This stuff is excellent. Alright, so we've got our sweet potatoes in here. First thing I'm going to do is add sugar. I lost 45 pounds the last 6 months. I'm about to gain it all back. Alright, we've got our sugar. We're going to add some salt. Just a little bit. Right, after our salt comes ground cinnamon. We'll just pour that in there. Alright, we're going to check on these eggs. Water is starting to come to a boil, so not quite ready, but almost. Alright, back to our sweet potato casserole. We have melted butter. So we're just going to pour that in like so. It's coming together. And it tastes so good. Alright, we've got our butter in there. Now we're going to add brown sugar. Like I said, I'm about to gain the 45 pounds back. Not really, but yeah. Got the brown sugar in there. We'll just kind of break it apart here. There we go. That'll be easier to mix than just having that big old clump there. Alright. Next we're going to have 2 eggs. So let's just crack these. Well, if I can get it open. Alright, there's one. And let's get this second one in there. Alright, we've got our 2 eggs in there. We are almost ready to start mixing this together, believe it or not. Alright, we gotta add a little bit of milk. I know this seems like a lot, but the end result is definitely worth it. Alright, pure vanilla. Now don't make the mistake I did years ago and try to drink the pure vanilla extract on its own. It smells like vanilla, it does not taste like vanilla, and that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, good gosh, we are ready, finally, to mix this together. Now I'm gonna start real slow because you know me. I always make a mess here on Saturday Night Horror, so I'm gonna start this on low. Just to kind of get everything mixed together enough so it won't splash all over the place. Particularly on me. Alright, so there we go. Everything's mixed up. That actually went well. I did not make a mess, surprisingly. Now we're going to dump all this into a crock pot. Or not crock pot, God. Like I said, folks, it's been a while. We've got it in a pot here. Smoothed out. Now we have to make a topping. So to make a topping, we've got some pecans, however you want to say it, and we're just going to grind them up. Now, me personally, I'm not a nut person, but for the sweet potato casserole, I make an exception. Alright, that's done. We get a look in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, so we've taken that and we have put it in this bowl here. And now we're going to add flour to it. Got flour, crushed, grinded up pecans. Alright, we've got some, supposed to be room temperature butter, but we had to nuke it a little bit to make it soft. Oh yeah. And we're just gonna kind of get this all mixed together with a fork here. So we'll be back when this is done. Alright, that's done. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, since our topping is done, the pecans, the flour, the butter, I'm just going to dump it on top of the sweet potato casserole here. And we're going to spread it around evenly, and that'll be our topping. And when it cooks, oh my gosh, I can't tell you, words can't describe how good this is, man. So we're just going to spread it around evenly, and we'll put this in the oven, let it bake, and that'll be it for the sweet potato casserole. Now I'm not going to film us putting it in the oven or anything like that. I'll come back and show the final product after we take it out of the oven. So I mean, it's a little time-consuming, but at the same time, really easy to make and definitely worth it. Alright, so it's been in the oven, it is fully cooked, and it is good to go. So the sweet potato casserole is complete. Alright, back to our deviled eggs. Our eggs, the water has come to a boil, so we're just going to dump the water out in the sink here. Our sink from when the house was built in 1977, I believe. Late 70s, so yeah. Definitely not the newest and chic sink design, but it gets the job done. Alright, so we've got that water out, and next is the part that I really hate, peeling the eggs. We're going to skip that. Alright, we've peeled the eggs, we've cut the eggs in half and scooped out the yolk. We separated the eggs and the yolk. So now it's time to make a filling, and I'm going to let Mama Brown, my assistant, help me out. Here we got the Miracle Whip. I absolutely hate Miracle Whip. I hate mayo. The smell of it makes me dry heave and gag. It's freaking awful, so I'm not touching it. I hate it, but when it's in certain things like tuna fish and deviled eggs, I'm okay with it. That's it. Alright, after the mayo, we have mustard. Alright, squeeze that mustard in there. And we have paprika. Definitely gotta have paprika in there. Gives it that little spice, that little taste, that little flavor. We'll just dump that in there. Alright, apparently I hit record too late. She had already started blending it up. And she's going to taste test it and see what we need. Alright, so after taste testing, we got the right balance of everything. That's the filling for the deviled eggs. I don't do the taste testing because if it's mayo, ugh. Alright, that's the finished product. Those are the deviled eggs. They are done. They're going to go in the fridge and get nice and cold. I don't like warm deviled eggs or room temperature deviled eggs. I got to have them nice and cold. Otherwise, I can't eat them. Alright, our next thing to do is a chocolate cream pie. This is my favorite pie, and this is the only time of year we have it is on Thanksgiving. So we got a butt ton of sugar we just threw in the pot. Yes, I said butt ton. That is a Stephen Brown creation, I think. Alright, after that we have some flour we dumped in there. We have milk. That's milk that was already in there. This is the last of the milk. We use 6 cups of milk. That's a whole lot of milk. Alright, we have stirred all that together. Now we're going to add our baking chocolate. And yeah, hopefully I don't splash too much all over the place. That wasn't bad. And now comes the long part. Now we'll cook this on medium-high heat until everything is mixed together and nice and thick. Not only does it have to mix and melt the chocolate, but it has to be nice and thick, and you have to stir non-stop. Alright, so this is the finished product. We did some other things too. We had to add some eggs to it, but you had to do it really, really quick, so I didn't have time to film it. But anyway, it's been in the oven, it's baked, and that is it. That is a graham chocolate cream pie on a graham cracker crust. Alright, our last thing for the night here is a pumpkin pie. We got Libby's pumpkin filling. Yeah, pure pumpkin whatever. Now that we've got the pumpkin in our bowl here, our battle-worn and battle-tested bowl, it's been through some stuff, as you can tell. Alright, look at that. That stuff is good, man. I just want to make sure I get all of it out of the can here. And this is the only time of the year we have pumpkin pie too, Thanksgiving. The only time of the year we have these two pies is on Thanksgiving. Alright, now that we've got our pumpkin filling in there, I'm going to add some sugar. Because everything has to have sugar. Alright. And we're just going to mix this up. Apparently with a pumpkin pie you have to mix everything up as you add an ingredient, so it's going to take a little while. Alright, so we've got the sugar and the pumpkin filling mixed up. Now we're going to add salt. And we'll mix that up. Alright, we've got that mixed up. Next ingredient is ground cinnamon. And we'll dump that in, and we'll mix that up. Alright, it's mixed up. Next ingredient is ground ginger. Yes, sir. Alright, get it in my measuring spoon here. Alright, we've mixed that up. Next ingredient, ground cloves. And you know the drill. Dump it in, mix it up, move on to the next one. Alright, that's mixed up. Next we have some eggs. Just the yolks. And pour that in there. And you guessed it, mix it up. Alright, that's mixed up. And we're not done yet, folks. We have milk. And guess what? We've got to mix it up. Alright, after that we have even more milk. This time evaporated milk. And yeah, don't spill it all over the place. And once again, if you guessed we have to mix it up, you are tonight's winner. So we'll mix this up and we'll come back. Alright, believe it or not, we're done. Now we've got the pie crust rolled out here in the pie pan, I guess you would call it. I'm having a brain fart right now. And we'll just dump the filling right in. Then we'll stick this in the oven and bake it. Oh yeah, look at that. We got that filling in there. It's ready for the oven. Alright, now it's time. I forgot to film the finished product for the pumpkin pie, so I apologize. But it's time for the weekly visit to the garage with the absolutely mandatory completely relevant to whatever movie we're watching tonight on Saturday Night Horror. The trademark Jurassic Park movie poster shot. Let's go out to the kitchen. Got kind of a mess in the kitchen. Got some cardboard on the floor there. Believe it or not, it's after midnight. It's about 12:20, and it's absolutely freezing in here in this garage. My God, it's freezing. So let's go ahead and leave. Now I put some new artwork on the wall. We got Jason Voorhees, and we've got some Tomb Raider, but it's too cold to get a nice long shot, so we're going back in the warm house. Let's get out of here. Say goodbye to the garage for this week. Let's go out front and let's watch our movie. Let's lock the door, turn off the light. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for Halloween Kills. All of the lights in the house, believe it or not, are off. That light is coming from the Christmas tree. And you know me, if you've been around for a while the tree is up, the lights must stay on. The Christmas tree lights will stay on the entire time. And I'll do a video later this week, hopefully later this week, of all the Christmas decor we've got set up. Had to move some furniture around. As you see, the cat's food and water's out here now. But yeah, we are ready for Halloween Kills. It's going to be a good night. And a rare occurrence now, Bella has come and laid on my lap to watch a movie. Baby Bella is here. Now the cats kind of grew out of their, laying on your lap phase, so I was actually surprised she came up here, and I had to, reach for the camera real quick and get it on film, otherwise no one would believe me. But there's Bella. She is a little over a year old now. She's all grown up. Alright everyone, the movie's over, and it is awesome, man. I love this movie. Halloween Kills is absolutely amazing. If you have not seen it yet, please do yourself a favor and go watch it. It is awesome. Definitely worth your time. So like I said earlier, Halloween Kills picks up right where Halloween left off 3 years ago. And the end of Halloween, we saw Michael Myers trapped in the basement, or as I call it, the death room of Laurie Strode's cabin. Everything was on fire. We just knew Michael Myers was going to be burnt to a crisp, and that would be the end of his reign of terror. Obviously, that's not the case since we have a new Halloween movie out. I'm not going to spoil how Michael Myers gets out of that burning cabin, but I will say that it didn't make sense to me. And I don't remember them saying anything about it or showing anything that would allude to how he got out in Halloween 3 years ago, but once you see how he got out, you're thinking, how did he know that was there? How did he know about that? And I don't, like I said, I don't remember them saying anything about that in the last Halloween movie. I know it's not making any sense right now, but I'm trying not to spoil how he got out for those of you who might not have seen it yet. So that was really the only major question, and one of the few gripes I had about the movie was, how did Michael Myers know that was there? It just, I don't know. But anyway, he does escape, and we get, in my opinion, one of the most badass scenes in the movie. Well, the scene of the movie, where he walks out of this burning cabin with a firefighter's tool in his hand. I don't want to say it's not a pickaxe. I don't know exactly what it's called. I probably should have looked it up. He's standing on the porch of this burning cabin, and he looks out, and there's like half the fire department there trying to put out the fire. And as he's looking at them, they turn around and they go, "What the hell is that?" And they all look at Michael, and Michael tightens his grip on his weapon, and the firefighters, they know they're in for a fight. They tighten their grips on their weapons, their axes, their pickaxes. That one guy, he starts up his circular saw, so they know they're in for a fight. And it was a fight. It was a brutal fight, and the one thing I noticed in this movie is Michael Myers, his combat expertise is off the walls, man. Michael Myers, somewhere down the line, learned how to fight. He took out half the fire department by himself, and it was just, I don't know, man. He can dodge and weave. He knows how to fight. I don't know how he learned how to fight like that, but I'm not complaining. It was awesome. Of course, there are some in today's episode of I'm Desperate to Be Offended by Anything and Everything, there are people who wanted that scene removed because it was offensive that he killed people, the fire department. Grow up. I mean, really, grow up. No, go, have a box of tissues, sit down, have a good cry. Good Lord Almighty. But yeah, that was the most badass scene in my opinion. There were a lot of things going on in this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis was back as Laurie Strode, but she really didn't do too much in this movie. She was laid up in the hospital because, as you remember, she kind of got stabbed. Something happened. I think she got stabbed right in her side there. So she was in the hospital most of the movie, in the hospital bed. Didn't really do too much. This one mostly focused on her daughter and her granddaughter. They were the main protagonist in this movie, along with Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle, if you remember, was the little boy that Laurie Strode was babysitting in the original Halloween. And that is my major gripe with this movie. My second gripe, my huge... Really the only problem I had with this movie was Tommy Doyle himself. After watching this movie, I've come to the conclusion that Tommy Doyle is the dumbest human being walking God's green earth. Tommy Doyle's stupidity in this movie cannot be understated. It cannot be... there's not a strong enough word in the English language to describe how incredibly stupid Tommy Doyle was in this movie. Tommy Doyle, of course, has grown up now. It's been 40 years since the original. He's still obsessed with Michael Myers. He tells a story every Halloween about the boogeyman. And there's things that happen in this movie where Tommy just proves that, I'm like, how did you survive this long when you're so stupid? He tries to rally the town of Haddonfield against Michael Myers. For some reason, they think Michael Myers is heading to the hospital to come after Laurie. So, you know, everyone gathers at the hospital because they see on the news that the killing has begun again. So they're checking on family members. And while they're at the hospital checking on their family members, Tommy Doyle rallies the crowd. His battle cry is "Evil dies tonight," and he convinces half the town that's shown up at the hospital to stay there and kill Michael Myers when he shows up. Now, Michael Myers, after everything he's done, I don't know why the people of this town think they can do anything about it, and we'll get to that in a moment because a group of them thought they did have Michael Myers killed, and it was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Tommy Doyle rallies this group of nincompoops with the cry of "Evil dies tonight." We also find out that another inmate escaped with Michael Myers in the first movie. I don't remember them ever showing that, but then again, it's been quite a while since I've seen it. This other inmate that escaped with Michael Myers looks like Danny DeVito. He's short, he's pudgy, he's got a balding head, and Tommy Doyle is convinced that he's Michael Myers. He convinces the townsfolk at the hospital that he's Michael Myers. And somehow this guy, he's not all there mentally. He makes it to the hospital and he's trying to get away from this mob I cannot believe they actually think he's Michael Myers. Anyway, he takes a dive out of the window. He dies. Tommy Doyle goes, "We got him! We got him! It's over!" The sheriff has to convince Tommy that little Danny DeVito, little Oswald Cobblepot, the penguin himself, is not Michael Myers. And this is where Tommy proves his ultimate stupidity. Remember, this guy is short, fat. Look, imagine Danny DeVito in Twins. That's what this guy looked like, and Tommy thinks he's Michael Myers. When the sheriff says, "Tommy, that's not him," Tommy's response is, "He always wore a mask. How can you be sure?" Idiot! At this point, I wanted Michael Myers just to rush out of the crowd and cut Tommy Doyle to pieces because he's so stupid. Danny DeVito, Oswald Cobblepot, the penguin is not Michael Myers. I know it's been 40 years, Tommy, but Jesus Christ. 5'10", 250 pounds. Common sense tells you that is not Michael Myers. And like I said, Tommy Doyle is the stupidest man walking God's green earth. And the townspeople of Haddonfield are just as stupid because he convinced them that that was Michael Myers. The only one that had any damn common sense was the sheriff. That's not Michael Myers. He always wore a mask. How can you be sure? Spoiler alert, I got my wish, and Michael Myers and Tommy Doyle met face to face, and I got to see that idiot get what he deserves. Which leads me to one of my final points. At the end of the movie, we have Laurie Strode's daughter. She kind of lures Michael Myers out to a crowd of townsfolk who have their weapons. You know, they got 2x4s, they've got baseball bats. One woman had a damn iron. I don't know what she was going to do with that. So they beat the crap out of Michael Myers, and for some reason think that beating him with 2x4s, baseball bats, and an iron was enough to kill him. So Laurie Strode's daughter picks up the butcher knife that Michael Myers had, stabs him in the back with it, and walks off. They think it's over. Of course it's not. Michael plucks the knife out of his back and continues to systematically and surgically destroy every single member of this lynch mob. He's dodging, weaving, he's slicing them into pieces, and I loved it. And then we get the final confrontation between him and Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle died because he was stupid. Tommy Doyle died. He deserved to die because he was stupid. Tommy Doyle is dead because he's stupid. I did not feel sorry for Tommy Doyle. I actually got a little too excited when Tommy died. I said, F yeah! So, needless to say, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, watching Tommy die because he was an idiot. We also have, I know I've spoiled so much in this movie, I'm not going to spoil too much more. We have an ending that I did not see coming, and I was like, holy crap, I cannot wait to see the next one. The ending, did not expect that at all, did not see it at all, but it's freaking awesome if it sticks. If they don't have some, you know, oh, well, this happened and it's not really what you thought it was. If it sticks, this next movie is going to be something else, man. Yeah, Halloween Kills was awesome. The kills themselves, Halloween movie from 3 years ago, when I did my video on that, I said this is the most brutal Michael Myers I've ever seen. That is no longer true. Michael Myers in Halloween Kills is the most brutal Michael Myers I've seen. There's one scene where he used a guy as a human pincushion. He's testing out different knives to see which one he wants. And to test them out, after he's already, you know, cut this guy to pieces, he's still alive somehow. Puts the guy over the counter and stabs him in the back with all these different knives until he finally finds one he wants. And the poor guy's wife is laying on the ground watching. She can't do anything to help because she took a cracked light tube to the neck. You know, those light tubes they use in CZW and those backyard death matches. Yeah, she took one of those to the neck, so she's watching her husband being stabbed repeatedly in the back like a human pincushion. Oh man, there's so many brutal kills in this movie. We actually saw when the inmate took a dive out of the window of the hospital and hit the pavement. I was not ready for them to show the result of that. Yeah, that was ugh. It's either a garbage truck or one of the farming machines driving by, so I apologize about that. Yeah, these kills were brutal, man. It also had one of the funniest kills I've ever seen in a Halloween movie. This chick was shooting at Michael Myers. Michael Myers is in an SUV. He went in an SUV, killed some people, and he's still sitting in the SUV, not moving. The girl has a gun shooting at him. Misses every single shot. I don't know how in the blue hell she missed every shot while Michael Myers is sitting still in his SUV, but she did. And she walks up to the driver's door. Michael kicks the door. It hits her hand, and she ends up shooting herself in the head. Funniest kill I've ever seen in a Halloween movie, and she deserved it for missing all those shots. It was just, oh man. Another thing I liked about this movie, it kind of had a nod to the past movies. Now, if you remember in the original Halloween, when Dr. Loomis and the nurse, and Lord help me, I cannot remember her name, when they first drive to the mental facility, Michael Myers escapes, he jumps on the roof of the car. They kind of redid that in this one, where that same nurse was in this SUV, and Michael Myers kind of jumps on the roof. So, excuse me, I thought that was pretty cool to have that nod to the original. They also had the masks from Halloween 3, the Silver Shamrock masks. Those made an appearance as well. So it was kind of cool to see these nods to the past Halloween movies while still keeping it fresh and new. I really like that, man. So in closing, I just want to say once again, Halloween Kills was awesome. The last movie was awesome. This one was even better, and I cannot wait for the next one. After seeing how this one ended, I cannot wait. And like every Halloween movie, the soundtrack to this movie, it fits everything perfectly. It's one of the few movies in the world where the soundtrack actually fits everything perfectly. I dare say it's a cinematic masterpiece in the horror genre, if you will. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Saturday Night Horror. I have rambled on and talked enough. Please go watch Halloween Kills. Comes out on Blu-ray, 4K, I think DVD as well, January 11th. I've already got my copy pre-ordered. I have to have it in the collection. Definitely check it out. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this episode of Saturday Night Horror. Next week, I say next week, hopefully it is next week, we're going to be watching a movie that I didn't realize they had made until a few days ago. I ordered it, it came in. It's a sequel to a movie that I really enjoyed. Next week we're going to be watching Don't Breathe 2, starring Stephen Lang, who was freaking awesome. So you don't want to miss that. That being said, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Have fun putting up all the Christmas decorations. I've got mine up. I'll be doing a video showing those off, hopefully sometime this week. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you all have an awesome week. And I'll see you next time for the next episode of Saturday Night Horror, Stephen Lang, and Don't Breathe 2. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care.